Discounting cash flow is a technique used to being able to compare and understand value of cash flow paid over different times. We all know that the value of 1,000 received today is more than the value to us of 1,000 received in 10 years' time. So 1,000 is not always equal 1,000. It depends on the time you receive it. To be able to compare the value of amounts paid over different times, we use a discounting factor, which is the factor of the value change over a certain period. We could, let's say, deposit 1,000 in a bank today at an interest rate of 10%. And then we would know that in a year's time, the value of the 1,000 will be 1,000 plus the 10%. And we calculate that with 1,000 multiplied by 1 plus the 10%. So the interest rate here is used as a discounting factor. And that's quite normal to use the interest rate as discounting factor. But you're free of choice to pick any discounting factor you find suitable and relevant for the situation you are in. And if we want to go back in time, I could say, well, if we want to have 1,000 in the bank in 1 year's time from now, what should we then deposit today? Well, then we go the opposite way and we'll take the 1,000 in 1 year and then we'll divide it by 1 plus the discounting factor and giving the result of 909.09. So let's see how it's done. We talk about forward discounting. And if we have 1,000 today, now in 1 year's time, it will be 1,000 times 1 plus 10%. So in 1 year's time, it will equal 1,100. And if I want to do backward discounting, I would say, well, if I want 1,000 in the bank next year, or I know I will receive a payment in 1 year's time, what is it actually worth to me in today's money? Well, then I can say, now I'm not multiply because I will divide, so I'll get a smaller value divided by, in brackets, 1 plus the 10%. 10%, and I will get a present value of 909. So this is how we discount cash flow, and this is a very normal way to evaluate future cash flow. What is it actually worth in today's money? Now we have calculated for 1 year's change of value. Now, what if the question now was, well, what if it's in 5 years? So it's quite easy because then you just do it 5 times, that you multiply it by 1 plus, in this case, 10%. Or you can do it as a, what's called in English, potential, I think it is, like this. So it means I have lifted it in potens 5, so I multiply with 5 times. So forward discounting by 10% value change for each period of a year in 5 years, then the value of 1,000 will equal 1,610 in 5 years. The same thing I can do backwards and I can say now, if I want 1,000 in the bank in 5 years from now, what do I have to deposit today? And then I can go back and say, well, I have now to divide 5 times. Or again, I could put in potential 5 like this. So I divide 5 times. And this is only 620 I have to deposit. And of course, I can control and again and say, well, if I deposit 620 today, what will I get in 5 years' time? So I can just say, okay, I'll take this amount here and put up here and say, what will I get over here in 5 years' time? And I hope it will be 1,000. Let's see what happens. Bingo! So discounting backwards, forwards, you multiply with the number of periods when you go forward, and you divide the number of time of periods you go backwards. And now we are able to compare the value of amount paid over a different